Peace, love. You know how this goes, right? Listen, I got the Patreon up. Go there. Have fun. 15, 10, 5-minute videos, depending on which plan you pick, is the amount of videos you get. Let's dive into knowledge. What will we be talking about today? Listen, the topic today is love your kids. Love your kids. Why am I saying this? I have a beautiful baby on the way named Asani, right? And, my lady and I went through 2 miscarriages. I wouldn't call the second one a miscarriage, but we went through aspects of that, and this is what they would call our rainbow baby, right? Shout outs to Asani, shout outs to my lady Ruth, right? One thing that I notice is we all were kids at one point, and we're slowly learning to love ourselves. When you were younger, you learned things through osmosis. What is that? As you grew up, you saw people that were taller than you, bigger than you, older than you, do things, or your parents, and you picked up on what they did great, their habits, right? And then you subconsciously became a version of them, right? Now, when you became this version of them, you get thrown into the world and you're told you have to work, blah, blah, blah. They're not providing for you anymore. So no more San Andreas in GTA 4 as you eat ice cream and wake up on Saturday mornings to flip open your Sidekick to see if your favorite five texted you. No more of that shit, right? Now you have to step into a world where you have to learn what being an adult is. And what I'm realizing is, from my perspective, being an adult is letting go of being a kid. But in actuality, the same people letting go of being a kid still have that inner child that they have to heal. It's still trauma, brainwashing. Because when you were younger, you didn't really control your path, even though you did. You understand what I'm saying? It's like after a while, you stop looking adorable and it's time for you to pay rent. You know what I'm saying? My mother didn't know much about emotional intelligence. My mom was, she's a very amazing person. I've learned to accept her for who she is and not the title I think she should be. I've learned to accept her for who she is. But she didn't know nothing about emotional intelligence, especially when she ripped off the door. For whatever reason, her passion was high. Right now because I've been with my lady for 14 years. So it's like, as I go through life, understanding this dynamic of women and even of myself, because we all have passion. A lot of us tend to point at women as though, we don't have that passion also. You just have a different word for it. But back to the aspect of kids, right? My mom didn't know much, and my father wasn't around. My father went to jail. That's the story I was told, right? Then I ended up going to Barbados to live there, and I was raised there, right? The beatings was crazy. They had normalized abuse, right? Anywho, normalized abuse and embarrassment. So this is what I'm talking about. A lot of childhood trauma, the generational curses haven't been broken. Successfully, me and my lady have broken the childhood trauma curse and just the generational curses, and that is continuous. It does not stop. You feel me? Remember, it's not about who you are, it's where you are. You understand what I'm saying? So we're at a space in life where I noticed that as life is happening and you're adulting, you tend to treat kids like shit. I was in Dwayne Reed, and I had saw a young man, probably had to be about 11, 10. And his mom, he was touching these Halloween-themed therapeutic squishy things, right? And I watched, and then she, I don't know if she pinched him, but she hit him and was like, stop touching stuff. And I'm thinking in my mind that when he touched the therapy thing, right, the Halloween theme toy, I saw and I felt how therapeutic that was because I used to buy those things, right? The squishy things just for therapy in reference to me balancing aspects of my frustration as I went through the survival paradigm and made it up to the enlightenment, the spiritual paradigm, the 12th dimension, heaven, because heaven is a state of mind, right? I watched. And he didn't see me watching. He looked and he was like, he felt the way. You feel me? His arm was hurting. He didn't watch me as he did that. So he wasn't really putting on a show. He really felt how he felt. So I just, you know, gave my best aspect of genuine as I walked past him. But what came to mind was this, because I'm having a boy, right? We found out that that's a penis, not a vagina, right? In the sonogram. But anywho, honestly speaking, I'm noticing that I have to be very, very aware of myself because when it comes to what I've been through, I do not want to project that subconsciously to my son. You feel me? My son didn't ask to be here. You know what I mean? I was doing the do, and you know how it goes with the reproduction aspect. And me and my lady created something very, very beautiful. And within that aspect, with those creations, you got to understand, like my mom, I'm not too sure if she was ready for a child. Not too sure about that, right? But, I know she did do her best when it came to providing. But what I need you guys to understand that emotional support is a big part. And my mother did 50-50. You know what I'm saying? She was working, providing, but she was, she had a little bit of emotional support because I used to see her laugh and smile and things of that sort. But she mostly slept because work could do that to you. That's why I own my own business now. Because the whole goal, nah, I'll be damned if I got to pick up my son and I can't stay in that frame of mind. In walks the aspect of I have to work Monday and it's not something passionate that I like to do. You feel me? That's why I created Emotions Made Easy, Black Raps, Fire Safety Made Easy. I rap. You know what I'm saying? I got one song out, 14 songs already done, 5 songs I'm working on. I have many songs because it's something I'm passionate about. And we have to teach our kids how to use their passion. And also, we have to learn that it's okay to explain. A lot of times we treat our kids how we treat ourselves. Like the lady in Dwayne Reed. I could only imagine her upbringing and what she had to go through, or even the aspect of probably the father not being around. Who knows what the case may be? But I'm just saying, excuse me, kids remember things. Please love your kids. Please do. We're not. We're not loving them enough. And then you wonder why, hey, well, why is the crime rate high? I'm not saying that that's the specifics, but you need to focus on your immediate family and stop worrying about what Tyrone is doing. Let Erykah Badu worry about Tyrone. You need to worry about your kin. You understand? You need to worry about, not more so worry. You need to be sitting down, understanding your inner child so you can subconsciously give your child a better life. Like my lady showed me something, and it was a lady talking about ego death when it came to parents and how they handle their kids. A lot of times we're just focused on beating. Why? Why are we more focused on beating? What is that about? Because that's what we went through. And I think it comes from our ancestors in reference to aspects of slavery. We got to break that generational curse. If you don't understand what's going on and you don't see how it's affecting the youth, then what are we doing? Why are you sitting there thinking that if you vote, that's gonna help crime? We need to start in-house. We need to start in home. Start meditating more. Start taking time to say, well, you know what? I'm not just gonna be beating my child, or shit, you shouldn't even be doing that. I feel like you honestly should be sitting down and having a conversation, and you should get good at the stare. The stare is not an aspect of disappointment. The stare is to let them know, hey, I warned you about that. Let's have another conversation so we can get into the nitty gritty of your consequences. And consequences is not necessarily, discipline is not hitting. That's not what discipline is. Last time I checked, me going to the gym and keeping up with that aspect because I knew why I needed to is considered discipline. When did hitting become discipline or disciplining somebody? I'm pretty lost on that. But I've had that conversation with my mom. Hey, listen, you were very abusive. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at her. I'm in a different space in life, so I don't hold on to those aspects. But it did affect my sister. It did affect me. You know what I'm saying? I don't hold on to it affecting me in a way where the idea or any theories behind it or the trauma is the main reason on why I am who I am. I'm pretty sure, and I'm very in the knowing that I am accountable for my life. I understand that. I totally understand that. And I think that's the biggest part. We give everything outside ourselves accountability, or we give it our belief. What about you? When do you sit down and take time to understand that, listen, I am the cause of this? It's mental telepathy. You have to understand that anything you're broadcasting is a perception or a reflection of you. You have to sit down through introspection and actually understand what's going on. Everything has polarity. What you're seeing in your kids, there's an opposite of how it looks too. If you're constantly focused on the bad, law of attraction, you will attract a bad kid. You keep telling that kid it won't make it, it this, it that. Oh, you don't listen. What do you think is going to happen? When do you praise the child so the child can subconsciously create those great habits? But if you're not doing that to you, there's no subconscious awareness to do it to your kids, or it hasn't been done to you. And like I said, I'm not into the pity, because if you understand, what's that book by Napoleon Hill, The 16 Laws of Success? You start at endure, pity, and embrace. If you was able to take accountability, you would be embracing what you endured as you held yourself accountable for being the creator behind it. And that's what we got to get into. We got to get into more of that acceptance, forgiveness. These are all part of your consciousness. When you look at the survival paradigm, a lot of us are raising our kids from the survival paradigm. Let's be honest. When you talk about Brownsville, I grew up in Brownsville, Brooklyn, Canarsie also, and Barbados. You look at the structure of the mindset, and half of our parents are adults, don't even know what emotional intelligence is. They don't even know what the prefrontal cortex is, the reptilian brain. And I'm not knocking them. I'm talking about cognitive dissonance at its highest, where we've gotten comfortable with disrespecting ourselves, thus us disrespecting people subconsciously. You feel me? How you affect people matter. How you affect yourself matters. When do we take a look at our heart? Know what I'm saying? Kids are genuine. Kids are loving. They're not always going to be what you want them to be, but you want to be okay and very forgiving when it comes to how you discipline and how you talk to them. This is not a duty. You need to understand you are raising a spirit, a being that you created, whether you wanted it or not. You have to understand that. Know what I mean? Don't take these things for granted. Much love, much peace. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for staying abreast of Patreon, being here to learn more knowledge, and being here to understand aspects of yourself through me, because I am you and you are me. So much love, much peace, and treat your kids right. Please do. Take some time, sit with them, play Monopoly, have game nights. Get yourself in a space where you're not just focused on work. Set aside some time, create a business where you can financially be you. Ways of a Superior Man told you. You cannot blame your kids, your wife, your husband, nobody can be blamed. You have to hold yourself accountable, be open to the sacrifices you have to make to be a better you, so your kids can be a better them. Love, peace. Yeah, have fun.